Final thoughts. Embracing aging fully. Aging is not an ending, it is a new chapter. A blank page waiting for you to write the next part of your story. The question is, how will you write it? Will you spend your days in regret, longing for the past? Or will you embrace each moment as it comes, fully present in the days ahead? You can see aging as something to fear, a force that takes away youth, strength, and familiarity. Or you can see it as a gift, an opportunity to slow down, to reflect more deeply, to love without rushing. The true gift of aging. When we are young, we are constantly chasing status, wealth, success, love, but at some point, we realize that the true value of life is not in what we achieve, but in how deeply we experience each moment. Think of a quiet evening as the sun sets slowly, casting its warm glow over everything. You sit there, with a cup of tea in your hands, listening to the birds sing, feeling the gentle breeze. No hurry, no worries, just you in this moment. Perhaps, this is the greatest gift that aging brings, the ability to slow down and truly feel life. Light bulb, are you ready to welcome aging with peace? Ask yourself, am I appreciating what I have? Or am I mourning what has been lost? How can I enjoy my life more fully? What do I want to leave behind, not just as a name, but as a lasting impact in the hearts of others? Youth may be a burning flame, but aging is a warm lantern, gentle, steady, and full of wisdom. Folded hands, let's embrace impermanence and live fully. If these lessons resonate with you, share them with those you love. Somewhere, someone else may be struggling with the passing of time, and they may need to hear these words. Light bulb, let's learn together how to let go, accept impermanence, and live a complete, meaningful life. Folded hands, live, love, and receive each moment as the gift that it is. Lesson 1. You will be forgotten, and that's completely okay. There is an invisible fear that lingers in our minds, the fear of being forgotten. All of us want to leave a mark, something that lasts, a sign that we once existed, that we mattered. We work hard to build careers, nurture relationships, and create legacies, hoping that one day, our name will not be washed away by the passage of time. But pause for a moment and think. Do you remember the name of your great-great-grandparent? You may remember your parents, your grandparents, and maybe a few of your ancestors. But go further. Those who lived 200 or 300 years ago. Who were they? They laughed, they loved, they dreamed, yet now, they have returned to dust. Is that a sad thought? Maybe. But perhaps, it is also liberating, because it reminds us that life is not about being remembered, but about being fully lived. Wave, the story of the river and the monk. A young disciple once asked his master, "Master, do you feel sad knowing that one day, when you pass away, no one may remember you?" The Zen master simply smiled and pointed to the flowing river in front of them. "Do you see the water from yesterday?" The disciple watched the water flowing quietly and shook his head. "It has already drifted away." The master nodded, his gaze gentle. "Yet, the river is still here. We are the same. We may not exist forever as a name or a face, but what we leave behind, the love, the kindness, the goodness we share, will continue to flow through life, like ripples spreading across the endless river." Light bulb, impermanence and the art of letting go. Buddhism teaches that the self we cling to is only an illusion. We are not static beings. We are like waves on the vast ocean of existence. Each wave will rise and fall, but the ocean remains eternal. When you accept that one day, you too will be forgotten, you will stop obsessing over leaving a legacy or proving your worth. Instead of spending a lifetime fearing your disappearance, you will focus on fully living each moment, here and now. Sparkles, instead of seeking to be remembered, choose to live fully. Are you living a life that makes you proud? Are you spending time with the people who matter, loving them without expecting anything in return? Are you spreading goodness without the need for recognition? Because life, like the river, does not need to cling to the past. It simply keeps flowing, and that is true liberation. Lesson 2. Your body will change, so learn to befriend it. Have you ever suddenly realized that things that once felt effortless have now become a challenge? Climbing the stairs without feeling out of breath, lifting something heavy without hearing your joints crack, sitting for long periods without feeling back pain. These things may have once been second nature to you, but now, even bending down to tie your shoelaces might make your knees protest. We often say that our body has betrayed us, that it is no longer as agile, strong, or energetic as it once was. But ask yourself this: has your body truly betrayed you? Or are you the one resisting its natural changes? Light bulb suffering doesn't come from aging, it comes from resisting it. Buddhism teaches that suffering doesn't arise from what happens to us, but from how we react to it. If you see aging as an enemy, you will always feel frustrated and helpless. But if you see it as a new chapter in life, you can learn to embrace yourself in a different way. Just like a tree sheds its leaves in autumn, our bodies must change. Falling leaves don't mean the tree is dying, they mean it is preparing for a new cycle. And so must we. Instead of clinging to youth, we can learn to adapt and grow with the changes that come. The story of the cracked clay pot. There was once an elderly monk who had been the strongest in his monastery. He could carry heavy buckets of water, chop wood, and perform laborious tasks without exhaustion. But now, his hands had lost their strength. His back ached, and his steps had slowed. One day, he complained to his teacher, "Why has my body betrayed me? I used to be able to do everything. Now, even the simplest tasks feel difficult." The Zen master smiled, picking up an old clay pot with a crack running down its side. This pot was once perfect, holding water with ease, but now, it has aged, and water seeps through its cracks. Do you think it is useless? The old monk shook his head. No, the water that leaks nourishes the earth, helping plants grow. The Zen master nodded. Your body is the same. It may not be as strong as before, but it still has value in a different way. Accept it as a companion, not an enemy. Man in lotus position, befriend your body instead of fighting it. Your body is not your enemy. It is simply doing what it is meant to do, change with time. Instead of blaming it, learn to appreciate it. When gray hairs appear, they are not a sign of decline, they are marks of time. Proof of the experiences you have lived. When your movements slow down, it is not weakness, it is an opportunity to live more mindfully. To savor each moment deeply. When your health changes, it is not a loss, it is a reminder to care for yourself with more attention and love. Try looking at your body with gratitude instead of disappointment. Embrace every change, because each one is a reminder that you are still here, still on your journey. Sparkling heart. The most important lesson. Your body is no longer the same as before. And that is not something to mourn, it is something natural. You cannot turn back time, but you can learn to cherish what you have right now. In this very moment, instead of lamenting what is gone, appreciate what remains, a smile, a warm hug, the soft morning sunlight filtering through your window. So, instead of fighting against your body, are you ready to honor and care for it like a wise old friend? Lesson 3. No one stays with you forever, and that's natural. There are people who once felt like an inseparable part of your life, a best friend who was always by your side during your younger years, a family member you thought you would always be close to, or a lover you believed would walk with you until the end. And then, one day, you realize they're no longer there. Not always for painful reasons, sometimes. Life simply takes each person on a different path. Have you ever asked yourself, why can't the people we love stay with us forever? The impermanence of relationships. When we are young, we believe that good relationships will last forever. But as time passes, we grow, we change, and so does the world around us. People who were once close become memories. Some relationships fade, some end suddenly, and some people leave forever. This brings pain, but are we truly suffering because of the separation? Or because we refuse to let go of what we cannot hold on to? Light bulb. Buddhism and the nature of change. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent, whatever comes will eventually go. And every meeting will someday lead to parting. Attachments and separations are simply part of the natural flow of life. Look at the changing seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter take turns arriving and departing. Spring cannot hold on to summer, and autumn cannot stop winter from coming. Yet, each season has its own beauty, its own purpose. People are the same. We cannot make someone stay forever, but we can cherish the time they shared with us. Wave story. The river and the water drops. One day, a young monk asked his master, "Master, why do the people we love leave? Why do some people who were once close to us suddenly drift away?" The Zen master didn't answer immediately. Instead, He led the disciple to a flowing river. For a while, they stood silently by the water. Then, the master asked, "Do you see the drops of water in this river? Some drops travel together for a long time, flowing side by side. Others meet briefly and then part ways. But in the end, not a single drop remains still." The young monk was silent. The master continued, "Life is like this river. People come into our lives like water drops, journeying with us for a while, then following their own path. But look, the river keeps flowing, never mourning the drops that have passed. And we must learn to do the same. Sparkles how to accept goodbyes. Most of our pain doesn't come from losing someone, but from our refusal to accept that they're gone. But think of it this way. Not everyone stays forever, but that doesn't mean they weren't important. The moments you shared still hold value, even if they have passed. Someone leaving doesn't erase the joy, love, or lessons they once brought into your life. You don't have to cling to a relationship that has reached its end. Instead, be grateful for what was. Cherish the memories, and allow things to flow naturally when the time comes to let go. Sparkling heart, appreciate and release. Imagine this. If a bird lands on your shoulder, sings a beautiful song, and then flies away, would you feel happiness for hearing its song? Or sadness because it didn't stay forever? We cannot hold on to everyone, but we can appreciate what they brought into our lives and open our hearts to what comes next. Remember, some people only walk with us for a short time, but that does not diminish the value of their presence. Be grateful for what has been, but don't let it hold you back from moving forward. Like a river that never stops flowing, your life must keep moving forward too. The most important lesson. There are people who have left your life, but that doesn't mean they were unimportant, or that what you shared was meaningless. Don't be sad because someone is no longer with you. Smile because they were once here, because they gave you memories and lessons that shaped who you are. And most importantly, keep moving forward because ahead, there are still many new people waiting to be part of your journey. Lesson 4. You are no longer young, and that is a gift. Youth is like a spring breeze, full of life and freshness. But no one can hold on to spring forever. One day, you look in the mirror and realize, your face has changed. Wrinkles have begun to appear. Your skin is no longer as smooth, and silver strands have woven their way into your hair. Perhaps you've looked at yourself and felt a pang of nostalgia. I wish I could be young again. If only time could turn back. Do people still see me as beautiful? We are consumed by the fear of aging because society glorifies youth. But is youth the only form of beauty? Or is true beauty found in something deeper, wisdom, serenity, and kindness that only come after a life full of experiences? Cherry Blossom, the story. The cherry blossom and the pine tree. An elderly woman, burdened by worries, came to a Zen master. "Master, I have grown old. It seems no one looks at me with admiration anymore. My youth is gone, and I feel as though I have lost my worth." The Zen master smiled and led her into a garden. He pointed to a cherry blossom tree in full bloom. "Do you see this cherry blossom? Is it beautiful?" The woman nodded. "Yes, it's magnificent." Then, the master pointed to a large, ancient pine tree. Its bark was rough, its branches strong, standing tall through the seasons. "And what about this tree?" The woman hesitated. "It is different, but still beautiful in its own way." The Zen master smiled gently. "Exactly. You were once a cherry blossom, radiant in youth. But now, you are a pine tree, strong, wise, and unshaken by life's storms. Your beauty hasn't disappeared, it has simply transformed. Light bulb, the beauty of aging, a different kind of radiance. Youth is beautiful, but so is aging, in its own profound way. If youth is a bright sunrise, then aging is a gentle sunset. If youth is a lively melody, then aging is a deep, soulful song. True beauty is not found in flawless skin or a slim figure, but in eyes that shine with wisdom, a smile that carries kindness, and a presence that radiates calm and understanding. Have you noticed how older people have a unique charm? It's not because they are young, but because they carry knowledge, compassion, and a peaceful heart. Instead of fearing aging, embrace it as a gift. If you feel uneasy about growing older, try thinking of it this way. Wrinkles are not signs of decline. They are marks of every moment you have smiled, every lesson you have learned. Gray hair is not a loss, it is proof of the years you have lived, the challenges you have overcome, A slower body does not mean you have lost value. It is a gentle reminder to slow down and savor each moment. Embrace the traces that time leaves on your body. They are not signs of deterioration, they are proof of a life well lived. Sparkling heart, the most important lesson. You are no longer as young as before, but your soul is richer than ever. Pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I have not lost my beauty, I am simply carrying a different kind of beauty. I have not lost my worth, I am simply expressing my value in a deeper way. I am not becoming useless, I am simply learning to live more fully. Herb, do not try to become a cherry blossom again if you have already become a strong, unwavering pine tree. Lesson 5. You will lose many loved ones, but love never dies. As we grow older, we inevitably face loss. The people who once meant the world to us, our parents, siblings, dearest friends, will, one day, leave us. And when that day comes, it may feel like an emptiness that nothing can fill. No one is ever truly prepared for loss. Even when we understand that death is a natural part of life, the departure of a loved one leaves behind quiet moments of longing, days that feel uncertain, and nights spent awake in sorrow. But what if loss is not truly loss? What if love never really disappears, but simply changes form? Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent, everything comes and goes. Every meeting will eventually lead to parting. But there is one thing that surpasses impermanence: love. Herb, the story. Kisa Gatami and the mustard seed. A mother was devastated when her only child passed away. Unable to accept the truth, she carried her child's body through the village, begging for help. Someone, please, do something, bring my child back. Finally, she came to the Buddha. The Buddha listened patiently and said, I can help you, but first, bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never known death. Hopeful, the mother ran from house to house, knocking on every door, but at every home, she received the same answer. We are so sorry, but our family has also known loss. After searching endlessly, she finally understood. Loss does not happen to just one person. It is something every soul must experience. When she returned to the Buddha, her tears were no longer of despair, but of understanding. Light bulb love does not disappear, it simply changes form. Our loved ones may no longer be physically present, but that does not mean their love for us has vanished. It remains, in memories, in stories, in the kindness we continue to share because of them. They may no longer hold your hand, but their love still lives in the advice and lessons they left behind. They may no longer embrace you, but their love still exists in familiar songs, favorite meals, and the warmth they once gave you. They may no longer speak to you, but they are still present in your heart, in the goodness you carry forward. Instead of grieving what has been lost, let their love become part of the life you continue to live. If your loved ones are still with you, cherish every moment. If they have passed, let them live on through the love and kindness you share with the world. Cherry blossom aging is a privilege, not a curse. Society teaches us to fear aging, but have you ever considered that not everyone gets the privilege of growing old? Every wrinkle on your face is not a sign of decline, it is the mark of every smile. Every story you have lived, every gray hair is not a sign of weakness, it is a testament to the lessons, struggles, and wisdom you have gained. If you looked back at your life right now, what would you see? Are you appreciating what you have? Or are you mourning what has passed? Are you fully living each day? Or merely counting the days that have gone by? Aging is not the end, it is a new chapter. A chance to experience life in a deeper, more peaceful way. Sparkling heart, a moment for reflection. Take a moment to ask yourself, what have I learned from the changes in my life? How can I live more gently? With less resistance? What will I leave behind, not as a name, but as an impact? Light bulb, if these lessons resonate with you, share them with someone you love. Light bulb, let's learn together to let go, accept impermanence, and live fully. Because life, in the end, is a flowing river, and true happiness comes when we learn to move with the current, instead of resisting it. Folded hands, live, love, and embrace each moment as the gift that it is. Stop fighting time. How Buddhism embraces and enjoys aging. Introduction. The battle we don't realize we're fighting. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, gazing at your reflection, and wondered, when did I start to change? Maybe you've noticed the subtle yet undeniable signs. a few strands of gray hair weaving through what was once a dark, youthful mane, faint wrinkles marking the echoes of laughter and sorrow. Or perhaps what truly makes you pause is not just the changes on your face, but the realization that a part of who you once were no longer feels the same. The days of youth, which once felt endless, now seem like distant memories. A body that was once strong and agile no longer moves as effortlessly. Life moves too fast, friends, family, and those who once played an important role in your life gradually drift away. In one way or another, we may feel as though we are being left behind. But what truly causes suffering, is it time passing, or our resistance to it? We cannot stop the inevitable. But if we learn to let go of our resistance, we can find peace and change itself. What if we learned to embrace instead of cling? What if, instead of clinging, we learned to welcome change? What if, instead of trying to control everything, we learned to relax and let life flow naturally? In Eastern philosophy, particularly in Taoism and Buddhism, there is a profound concept known as Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. Living in harmony with nature, and flowing with the current of life. Instead of resisting what is unfolding, we can learn to adjust ourselves and move with life, rather than exhausting ourselves by swimming against the current. A new perspective on aging and impermanence. In this video, we will explore 5 profound lessons on aging, impermanence, and how to accept them with grace. These lessons will not only help you understand the natural order of life but will also guide you to find joy and liberation in your journey. Stay with me until the end, because once you truly understand these lessons, you will never see aging and change in the same way again. Instead, you will realize that growing older is not about losing something, but about transforming, a beautiful journey. If only we learn to embrace it. Light bulb, are you ready to see life through a new lens? Let's begin.